Hello class, welcome to 3.3 where we're going to subtract integers. Now the total definition of subtraction I think is kind of hard. Same thing with what we did in the previous section with addition with negative numbers. Subtraction can sometimes be referred to as adding a negative opposite. Adding a negative or an opposite. And I'm going to show you that. But most people are not going to do all these steps. So we have 6 minus 4. If we want to change it into an addition, what we do is we add the opposite of the 4, which is 6 plus negative 4. And now we're just going to go back to subtracting, though. And it's 6 minus 4, which is 2. Keep the sign of the bigger number. To me, that's hard. I don't say it that way. Also with the section before, when you have a negative and a positive, I would have changed it to be just 6 minus 4 instead of 6 plus negative 4. But let's say that we have negative 5 minus negative 3. And now notice how I said that. I said negative 5 minus negative 3. So here, you can, because we have minus, change it into a plus. So negative 5 plus 3. When we're going back to section 3.1, where we're just changing the signs, and turn this into a subtraction, it's going to be a negative 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. Keep the sign of the 5. We could have also just said that it is adding the opposite of negative 3. Remember, the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. So we're adding the positive 3 here. So if we know that we have a negative times a negative, or negative of a negative, that's going to equal a positive. So if you remember it that way, negative, parenthesis sign, negative, it just becomes a plus, and get rid of all the negative signs. That's the easiest way to look at it. So let's say we have 4 minus negative 9. Negative times negative becomes positive, so this becomes 4 plus 9. What we did was we added the opposite of negative 9, and we get 13. So a few more examples. Let's say we have 4 minus negative 4. This becomes 4 plus 4, which is 8. So we have negative 4 minus 4. Here, we have two negatives, so we're just adding them and keeping the negative sign. So we have a negative 8. If we have negative 3 minus negative 3, here we could do where we said that it's negative 3 plus 3, which equals 0. Or we could look at it like we saw before. If we just had 3 minus 3, that equals 0. Anything minus itself equals 0. So we have the same thing here. Negative 3 minus negative 3. So that becomes 0. That's another way that you can look at those ones. Let's say that we have 4 minus 9 minus 2. We can do it all in one step, or I'm just going to do it in two. 4 minus 9 will be 9 minus 4. Keep the sign of the negative. So negative 5 minus 2. They have the same sign, so we add them and keep the sign, and it's negative 7. One way to do on all these is just say bigger number minus the smaller number. Keep the sign of the big. So 9 is bigger than 4, so 9 minus 4 is 5. Keep the sign of the 9, which is negative. And then these are the same signs. So let's do one that has also multiplication. 8 times 4 minus 7 times 6. We're going to do our multiplication first. We have 8 times 4 is 32, minus 7 times 6 is 42. So we're going to do big minus small, which is 10. The bigger number has a negative sign, so the answer is negative 10. And that is it for 3.3.